Hello students, hope you all are fine and safe. We were discussing about the 7th chapter, that is the animal world. So in our earlier videos we have seen how different animals they depend on each other. That means not for food but some for other purpose. That means they benefit each other, right? So that is the mutual understanding between the different animals. Okay. Now if we talk about the insects, then the insects like bees and butterflies, they suck the nectar of the flowers. What is nectar? The sweet juice of the flowers is called the nectar, and that is the food for these type of insects like bees and honeybees, right? So the bees and honeybees, bees and butterflies, they have a long thin body part of, that means a part of the mouth, that is called proboscis. Now this proboscis, it acts like the straw, like how we drink the juice from the straw, through the straw, same way we suck, okay. Same way the butterflies and bees, they with the help of their body part, that is proboscis, they suck the sweet juice of the flowers, they suck the nectar of the flowers, right. So that is one thing. Another thing is flowers, you might have observed the flowers, they have powdered like structure, small particles on them, right, that is get easily attached to our hands when we touch them. These are called pollen grains, these are called pollens or pollen grains, right. Now when the bees or butterflies, they sit on one flower and again they sit on another flower, like that, these powdered like structure, or we can say pollens, get attached themselves to the body of these insects, and through them they get transferred from one plant to another plant, from one flower to another flower, and they helps in the reproduction of the plants. That means they helps in the growth of the new plants, right. So that is the work of the, so here the bees and butterflies, they help like the agent for transferring these pollen grains from one flower to another flower, okay. Now once they have sucked the nectar, their stomach is full, they spit this nectar in their beehives. We know that honeybees, they live in the beehives, the home of the honeybees is beehives. So they spit this nectar in the beehives. Now their beehives are made up of hexagonal cells. Now what do you mean by hexagonal? Hexa means 6. So it is the geometrical structure with 6 sides. So you might have studied in maths that 3 sides, that is triangle, 4 sides we can say, that is either squares or rectangles and all. Same way 5 sides, that is pentagon. Same way any geometrical figure with 6 sides, that is called hexagonal. Hexa means 6, right. So 6 side cells. So their hives are made up of the hexagonal cells, right. Now they spit this nectar into the cell and they cover that cell, right. Seal means they fully covering, sealed means to cover it full. So fully they covered that with the liquid that comes out from their body, that is called wax. So the wax of the bees is called beeswax, that is we have learned in earlier classes, like in 2nd standard you have learned. So beeswax, it is the wax or the liquid that comes from the body of the bee, right. So with that beeswax, they seal their cells and they keep that nectar inside. Spit means to remove from their body. Thukna, in Hindi we say thukna, but that means to remove something from our body through the mouth, right. So that is spitting, right. So they remove that nectar from their body, from inside their mouth, and they keep it in the cells and they seal the cells and they leave it for some time. After some time what happens? This nectar changes into honey, right. So this nectar, it changes into the sweet tasty honey. Now what people do? People, they burn this honey bees hive, that means they burn these beehives, but before doing that it is very important to cover their face, their hands and full body because the bite of the honeybee is very painful and very harmful, dangerous, poisonous, right? So I also suggest you never try to disturb the hives, beehives, and never throw stones on the beehives and all, because the honeybees, once they get disturbed, they can bite with their sting. So that bite is called sting. Okay, so when they sting, that sting remains in the our body and it gives lot of pain and poisonous also. So I suggest you never try to hurt the honeybees, and if you are doing that, be very careful. You should be totally covered, but if you are covered, then what? Suppose some people are around you, they may get also affected. So don't do that type of mischief things, don't try to do all these things. And I know you are good children, you will never do, right? So the people who used to do this, they cover their body and they put these honeybees on fire. So what happens, these honeybee hives, or we can say beehives, when they burn, the bees, they just flew away to different places. So they leave that place and they move to another place, and then the honey can be easily removed from that beehive, it is easily extracted from that beehive. So this is how we get this honey. Hope you have understood this, beta. Now let us talk about a very special body part, that is ears. So we know ears for any animal, or the ears plays the same role like it is playing for human beings, right? So ear, it helps us to hear. Ear, it helps us to hear. Now if we talk about the ears in the animals, then some animals, they have small ears, and some animals, they have very big ears, very large ears. Now if we talk about the animals with large ears, then bats, elephants and desert fox, they have very large ears. Now why do they have this type of structure? It is because their body generates lot of heat. So if they will have large ears, most of the heat can be removed from the body through the ears, right? And the body will keep cool. So they can have a cool body and all the heat will get removed from this large ear. Second thing is, with the help of this large ear, they can easily sense the danger. So you might have observed the elephant, when the elephant senses any danger, it makes its ears widespread in all the directions, so that it can capture the different noises or different alerts that are coming from different sides, and it can understand that there is some danger. Same way, the bats, they use their ear to find their food and to locate different things. Same way, the desert fox, they use their ears to protect themselves from the danger and to attack their prey. That means to attack other animals also, they use their widespread ears, right? Now some animals, they have very small ears. If we talk about the animals in the polar regions like polar bears and all, they have very small ears because they need body heat. In polar regions it's very cold and these animals need warmth. So if the heat will get removed from the body, then they will feel more cold, right? So they have very small ears, so that very less body heat will be out, will get removed from the body, right? Then even the polar bears, when they swim, they can easily close their ears. That is really better nature, it's a God gift that the polar bears, when they swim, they can easily close their ears so that the water cannot enter into their body, right? So this is all about the different animals with small ears and big ears, right? Now if we talk about birds, birds do not have any external large ears like other animals, right? They have very small holes in their body that acts like these ears, and but even though birds, they have very small ears, they are very powerful, they are very strong, and they always help them to protect from the danger. And it is because of the small ears that the birds can fly very easily, they can lift their body very easily high above the sky, right? So that is all about the birds. Now if we talk about snakes, what do you think? Do snakes have ears? Beta, that is the real fact, that snakes do not have ears. Many people, they don't know these things and they think that yes, snakes do have ears, but the actual truth is snakes do not have ears. Then how do they sense things? They sense the different things through the vibration. We know the snakes, they creep on the ground, right? And that means their body is always in contact with the ground, and whenever they feel these vibrations, they sense the danger, or they sense whether there is a prey or not, right? So that is all about the snakes. But have you seen a snake dancing in front of the snake charmer? What do you think? He is listening to that beat and dancing? No, he is just observing the movement of that bean. It's not listening to the music. We say that this is the particular music that snakes like, but better it's not like that. When the snake charmers, they move their bean, the snakes, they just follow their bean and they move themselves according to the bean. So we think that they are listening to the music and they are dancing. So that is a very wrong conception. Snakes do not have ears, they move just observing the bean of the snake charmers. So we have learned many things about the different body parts of the animals. So the ears, they help the animal to attack their prey and to protect themselves from the danger, to protect themselves from their predators. So we have two words, always remember beta, that is prey and predator. Prey means the food on which we are going to attack, so that is our food, so that is prey. Predator, the animal that may attack us, so he is called the predator. For example, if we see one tiger and deer, so deer is the prey for the tiger and tiger is the predator for the deer. So these words are very common whenever we study something about the animal. So that is all about the different ears in the animals. Okay, hope you have understood this chapter very well. Go through the textbook reading, that is very important, and then watch the video properly. Bye. Have a nice day.